Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber.
And I'm Tim Seaman. He'll pass through 40 different towns, starting on one side of Iowa and finishing on the other. And he's doing it all on foot.
That's right. KCAU 9 News reporter Jason Toktagian tonight explains why he's doing it and also what he's hoping to achieve through the run in our top story at 6.
Tim and Sophie, RAGBRAI riders cross the state of Iowa on bikes, while most people who make the trip do it by car. But for one man, the 339-mile trip from Sioux City to Dubuque will be done on foot, and for a good cause. Ryan Miller is an Anamosa State Penitentiary officer and an avid runner. He started his cross-state run Friday at Sergeant Floyd Monument and plans to end it in Dubuque 9 days later.
I kind of figured, what's something that's a little bit out there, a little bit wild that you don't see every day. And you don't see people run across the entire state every day.
But his reasoning goes beyond that. He's doing it to honor his former coworkers and friends, the Anamosa officer and nurse who were killed by inmates on March 23rd.
Officer Robert McFarland, he was at the prison when I started working there. He was a guy, he's been there a long time, worked alongside him, an awesome man. And then nurse Lorena Schulte as well, worked alongside her a lot. Her life's purpose was to serve others and help others, and she was amazing at that. So yeah, both of them were just amazing people, and hopefully we can do this and honor them the right way.
Miller started a GoFundMe page to raise money for Officer McFarland's family. He says he's blown away by the support he's received so far.
It's been awesome. I mean, people that I never met, never knew, have reached out and been nothing more than supportive. I mean, beyond supportive, I'm beyond grateful, humbled, and honored. Number one for myself personally, if you have a goal or if you have a dream, something wild, that you can do it or at least go for it. That's kind of my thing with what I'm doing personally. And then as far as, Officer Robert McFarland, Nurse Lorena Schulte, to kind of remember them and honor them, the best way we can do that. So far, Miller has raised about $9,000 for the McFarland family. And if you'd like to track Miller's journey across Iowa, visit our webpage at SiouxlandProud.com, where you'll find a link there in this story under the Featured Content tab. Jason Toktagian, KCAU 9 News.
All right, thanks, Jason. And a popular Sioux City festival celebrating the LGBTQ community is officially kicking off tonight.
KCAU 9 reporter Hannah Adamson joins us live tonight from the Sucks Pride on historic 4th Street and has an update on what's all included at the festival. Hannah?
Tim and Sophie, there is a feeling of excitement in the air here at Sioux Pride 2021. In the background, you can hear the music blaring. There are many folks enjoying the lovely but very hot afternoon that Scott mentioned. There are many folks wearing flags draped over their shoulders. And in just a few minutes, performers are going to be lining historic 4th Street for a very special kind of a parade. Then earlier, they were here at the Courtyard by Marriott for a special welcome reception hosted by Sioux Pride, Downtown Partners, and Explore Sioux City. Now, you may remember last year marked the first time the festival was held at the Sioux City Convention Center. Now they're heading back there tomorrow for a variety of events, all celebrating diversity. Now, this is the first time Sioux Pride has expanded from a 1 to 2 day celebration.
For 12, 14, 16 months, and to get to see them and get to see their face, and it's really bringing unity to our community.
Now, organizers tell me it was a bit of a struggle trying to determine whether or not they were even going to put on last year's festival due to COVID-19 concerns. So this year has really given them more than one reason to celebrate. Now, live music and entertainment will continue well through the night, all the way until midnight. But if you can't make it out to tonight's celebration, you still can catch tomorrow's festival at the Sioux City Convention Center. We'll tell you what you can look forward to coming up tonight at 10. For now, reporting on historic 4th Street in downtown Sioux City, Hannah Adamson, KCAU 9 News.
All right, Hannah, what a beautiful night for any kind of festival.
That's right. Good excuse to be outside.
And if you're heading out for the weekend events, remember that you need to watch for signs of heat-related illness.
That's right. There are two types, heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Both of those illnesses have a few overlapping symptoms, such as nausea and even vomiting. And there are a few notable differences. During heat exhaustion, a person will sweat heavily while still having skin that feels cool to the touch. And a person will also feel dizzy or faint and may have a weak but rapid pulse along with muscle cramps. If someone's experiencing heat stroke, the skin will be dry and hot to the touch. You may also feel confused or even irritated, and slurred speech can start to occur. Rapid breathing and a racing heart rate are also common symptoms.
While you can treat heat exhaustion by finding a cool place and drinking water, you should also immediately call 911 in the event of a heat stroke, then work to cool that person down as quickly as you can. Good things to remember, things we haven't had to remember for a while.
That's right, but no complaints really, as long as you're safe. It is fun to be outside in this summer-like weather, especially. I hear we're heating up this weekend, Scott.
That's right. It's hot, but it's not too humid, so at least we have that on our side for the time being. But as we go through the weekend, we will see those dew points begin to move into the 70s. It'll feel hotter as we go through Saturday and Sunday. Looking at the almanac, it shows that the high temperature this afternoon was able to get to 94, pretty close to the record of 96 for the date from 1958. High temperature of 97 this afternoon in Yankton, 98 in Wayne, 95 today in Spencer and Sheldon, 91 for Denison and Audubon. It won't be cooling off too much tonight. We expect to see those lows sink down into the 60s. We'll have more information on some more hot weather dialed up for the weekend. Join us for the 9 on 9 forecast coming up shortly. Tim?
Thanks, Scott. After spending 31 years working for the city of Norfolk, including as city manager and safety director, Shane Widener is set to close his public career next week. He started as a firefighter back in 1990, and then he was promoted to numerous positions until, as I mentioned, assuming responsibilities as public safety director in July of 2017. Told us that some of the most rewarding aspects of his career included forming relationships with the community and seeing people come together in times of need. Now, Widener plans to work in the private sector for Nucor Steel.
When a career comes along that you get to surround yourself with people that are like family to you, is a true blessing.
Norfolk Mayor, as well as City Council and other officials, have all expressed appreciation for Widener's impact on the community. And tonight at 10, KCAU 9 reporter Mallory Smith takes us deeper into the history of this public servant. We'll hear from Mr. Widener tonight at 10.
Well, there's a new place for Siouxlanders to find food trucks within the city limits. Today, Yummy Blocks officially held their grand opening and ribbon cutting at 700 West 7th Street. The parking lot has space for up to 7 different food trucks at the same time, plus seating areas for diners. While the hub has been unofficially open for a few weeks now, this ribbon cutting marks a major accomplishment for Yummy Blocks owners.
It's a big goal and accomplishment that we've been trying to achieve to better ourselves, to make sure that everybody can achieve something, and we've done it.
If you have an idea, just go with it, and you just learn along the way with the mistakes.
Good advice. Yummy Blocks allows each food truck to set their own hours and even days at that site, and even post schedules up on their Facebook pages. Sounds delicious.
Meanwhile, Downtown Live is returning for another summer of live music in Sioux City, and organizers just this morning announcing the bands that have been lined up for the summer concert series.
7 artists are scheduled for the season now, with the first concert happening on June 18th.
And you can find the full schedule of those artists set to perform on our website right now. That, of course, is SiouxlandProud.com. You'll also find those names on the KCAU 9 News app.
According to a recent Gallup poll, 1/3 of Americans believe alien spacecraft have been spotted here on Earth.
In a month, the U.S. government will release a report on the so-called UFOs. What's expected in that report coming up.
And the sunshine is going to be with us this weekend, along with hot and breezy weather, with several days expected to be in the 90s. It's going to be dry for the most part as we continue through the 9 on 9 forecast, but we'll have a preview of when some rain might come back coming up right after the break.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Tim Seaman, Sophie Erber, Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson, and Sports Director Jake Jones. This is KCAU 9 News at 6.
Look at our 9 on 9 forecast. We'll be breezy the next couple days with high temperatures staying put in the low to mid 90s. 89 on Monday with the return of some more cloud coverage. And going through next week, it looks like we'll have highs between 90 and 95. Starting to cool off some as we head into next weekend. There's some signs of some isolated storms happening beginning late Friday into Saturday. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on, as it looks like we'll finally cool off more substantially next weekend. Well, here's some trumpeter swans that are probably having, well, a difficult time today staying cool out in the heat. Dan Verip snapped this picture out in Sanborn, Iowa along Dog Creek. Thank you very much for sending in that photo. Go to SiouxlandProud.com and find the weather tab. Scroll down to send us your photos. If you have a wildlife or weather picture that you want to share with us, we'd be happy to put them right here on the news.
Scott, you make a good point about pets and kids and cars. We had one report today in Sioux City of a child in a car. It turned out to not be that, but it's a good warning, a good reminder for folks.
Yeah, it's always really dangerous, so make sure that you are being careful with that. Keep your kids and your pets in mind here as we go through the weekend especially.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. Well, after decades and hundreds of reports of UFO sightings, the United States government is set to release its official report.
Why that report still leaves a lot of questions unanswered. Coming up next.
We turn now our attention to the closest answer yet to the question. Many people want to know, are we alone in the universe? ABC News is confirming a report set to be released to Congress later this month that shows investigators have found no evidence that suggests any unidentified alien phenomenon or UFO linked to alien spacecraft.
But military officials can't explain what people have been seeing in the sky for decades. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
Whoa, it's getting close.
They're the mysterious objects that have been baffling military members and the public for decades. And now we're learning what the government might know about them.
Oh my gosh, they're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
Federal intelligence agencies will present a report to Congress by the end of the month on those UFO sightings. Two U.S. officials telling ABC News the report does not have a definitive explanation for the unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, but found no evidence they're linked to alien spacecraft. Another government source says they're also not part of any super secret government program or so-called black programs. Many left scratching their heads, including former Navy pilot Ryan Graves, telling 60 Minutes he regularly spotted something in the sky.
Every day for at least a couple years.
Some say the videos are just cameras playing tricks on us. UFO enthusiast Mick West on Sirius XM radio.
Alex Dietrich said that she drew a diagram back in the day, but where is that diagram now? So there were contemporary accounts, and they've kind of like just vanished, and now we're just left with these stories that they tell, these recountings of what they kind of remember happening.
Lawmakers called for the report after the Navy declassified videos showing encounters that fighter pilots had in recent years. Skeptics claim the unidentified sightings could be some sort of advanced drones developed by Russia or China. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
As you said, more questions than answers.
Right, I was going to say, the videos really don't solve something either way, but they're cool.
Something there, that's for sure. Sports is up next, and what have been a day to get into the pool.
Yes, and cool off. The Olympic swim trials kicked off today in Omaha, and one Iowan is hoping to make a splash. Jake Jones has the story and much more coming up in sports. Don't go away.
Touches my heart quite a bit.
Tomorrow's match set for noon in Des Moines, and if you're not making the drive, we'll have your highlights covered in tomorrow's Sportscast.
Hot weekend to play soccer. It's a lot of running.
Absolutely.
Maybe more mentally challenging in that heat.
You know what he was saying earlier in the week, that was a bit of an issue, but I mean, you played 2 games in pretty warm weather.
They had a warm-up.
Pretty easy motivation.
Yeah.
One more game to play and
That's
get
it.
through it.
Got to get through.
Get through it. Thanks, Jake.
We check in for one final look at our hot forecast first. Let's take you outside right now from Cherokee, Iowa.
Welcome back. Here's a look at the 9 on 9 forecast. It can pretty much be summed up with one word, that being hot, with high temperatures in the mid-90s again for tomorrow. Sunny skies, a little bit cooler for early next week, back to the mid-90s next Friday with a chance of some storms.
That is extended heat as well.
The AC is going to get a workout.
Soak it up. Thanks for joining us. We'll all see you back here tonight at 10. Until then, have a great night, everyone, and stay cool.
Good night for now.